Welcome to Genii Speak for September 2025. I'm Jim Steinmeyer, your editor. And this month, the September issue is packed with fantastic features, great magic, really informative articles. I challenge you to just open it up anywhere and start reading. You're going to have a great time with it. We were really grateful for the comments that we got at Magic Live. Our team had a great time up there, and our new subscribers and our old subscribers all had interesting things to say about what they're enjoying about the magazine. I'm not going to waste much time. You've got plenty to look at inside this magazine, but we have special features in this video edition of Genii Speak. First of all, I'm going to turn it over to a great little interview that I did with Abby Segal. Abby is a new columnist for Genii. You're going to see her effects inside the magazine, and she's starting off with one of her favorites, which is a coins in glass routine, coins in mason jar, which you're going to love. And if you're interested even remotely in anything like this, or you're interested in how magic is put together, listen to what Abby has to say, and it's going to be an education. Also, just after that, I've come back with something I promised a few months ago, which was an interview with John Gaughan. John is back with Chamber of Secrets this month with a really elaborate, beautiful rising card effect from the German manufacturers. But instead, we sat down and talked with him about turned wooden apparatus, looking at his collection, talking about how those pieces are made, and then most amazing of all, him giving examples of the pieces that he's made and what he's learned about the great wood turners in magic over the years. So I want to turn this over to Genii Speak, to our interviews with Abby Segal and John Gaughan. Please enjoy it, and please see us back here in a month for the October 2025 issue of Genii. Enjoy it. Thank you. Start. Hi, it's Jim Steinmeyer, and I'm here with Abby Segal in the September issue of Genii. If you turn to the In Practice section where we talk about magic, the section edited by Noah Levine, there's a fantastic trick there, which is coins in the glass. Actually, it's coins in a mason jar, which is such a fantastic idea to add to this trick. And it's great on every single level. It's a great routine. The method is beautifully explained. The instructions are wonderful. The instructions are beautifully illustrated. And there's a kind of background information about how this trick all came together, the kind of philosophy, the false starts, the bad ideas, the good ideas. And we very, very rarely kind of talk about all that stuff in magic. And so what was amazing was this rolled in, and we said, oh, we're going to get a trick from Abby Segal. And then we kind of realized, oh my gosh, this isn't just a trick from Abby Segal. It's really kind of a whole treatise on this idea and how it's put together. So first thing is turn to the magazine and read that trick. And then here's Abby Segal coming to us
Hi.
from Chicago.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jim.
Oh, no, it's really, really our pleasure. And it's our pleasure having you in the magazine this month. So you do, I mean, it's all in the magazine, but you worked on this for a period of time, this trick, various ideas, right? When you put it together.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much like when I first was introduced to like the standard coins through wine glass routine. So, yeah, I think when I was about 14 or 15. And I remember just taking a wine glass from my parents, like in the kitchen, and just trying to play with it. But then, like, I already had a sense of like, oh, I shouldn't be using a wine glass as like a 15-year-old. That's kind of strange.
Right.
And then I thought about a mason jar. And then I had this weird thing about, oh, what would happen? Wouldn't it be cool if I could be away from the jar and the coins would just click automatically inside? I
Yeah.
thought I was like making this novel concept. I didn't know had been a thing like 50 years before I was
Right.
even
Right.
born.
Yeah.
So it like also just taught me a really important lesson that like, everything to some degree has already been done, but you can still innovate and you can still put your own creative touches and style to something. So it was just like a nice learning opportunity in that sense. But yeah, still thought using a mason jar had some novel use to the idea, and also having the sealed jar.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I really got inspired when my senior year, because I'd kind of ditched the idea after coming up with it as a kid, because I was upset at the time that the concept had already existed. So
Right.
then I went back to it as like a senior in high school, because I ended up finding Ken Allen's like robot coin gimmick uh, in the rummage of the magic store that I used to go to that was closing at the time. So yeah, I picked it up, I fixed it because it was all broken, and then it kind of launched a new
Right.
inspiration for it.
A new approach to it, kind of, which is where you
Yeah,
want. Yeah. Yeah, it's really
yeah,
great. How long did you do it? Is it still something you do occasionally today, or?
yeah. I do it all the time. I have it right here. I have like
Oh,
a
there's
normal.
hold that up for people. Don't show them, but hold that up for the people who are going to be putting it together and will be frustrated. And the answer is don't be frustrated. There it
Right.
is. Yeah. Yeah. No,
This
it's
is
great.
one that's not 3D printed, and this is one that is 3D
Right.
printed.
Okay.
Yeah,
The high tech version. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so I still do it. I do it a lot. The 654 Club at the lounge,
Uh-huh.
and um, yeah, I do it all for shows. I just did it this weekend. Um,
That's
yeah,
great. Yeah.
do it quite a bit because it's practical now. I used to not do it because I never had a good method for doing it. I didn't actually tell this part in the article, but I used to try to play around with poppers, like the toys that
Oh
popped
yeah.
up. I think
Absolutely.
Matt had a thing with it,
Yeah.
but I like painted one silver, and I would squeeze it and kind of put it on the coin like this, and I would put them both inside and a coin on top of it. And because a mason jar has like this design, it kind of hid the popper.
Right.
So when the timing was right, it would just clink inside, and the noise of the popper and the coin on top of it would get that like automatic clink, which was what I was like really searching for.
Now that
But
was
it's
my guess is that was horribly unreliable.
horribly unreliable, but extremely satisfying when it worked.
Yeah, yeah, no, I know. I mean, I think some people might know those as jumping coins, which was the name.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a bimetal coin that we would get warm and then
right,
make it go convex as opposed to concave, and then as it cooled off, it would unpop and jump in the air. And
right,
it was an Adams thing. And it
right.
yes, and I also many years ago was tempted to think, oh, this is fantastic for magic, and oh my God, it's exactly the kind of thing you drive yourself crazy trying to make it work. But it's
Right. It's
interesting.
my
It's a
hands
really
can't
interesting idea to use that with this effect. That's a really clever idea.
thanks.
If only we
Yeah,
could depend on them more. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I know.
So you perform at Chicago Magic Lounge regularly when you're in town. And what kind of stuff do you do? What would we see besides this routine? I mean, do you stand up close up? What's your specialty and what do you prefer?
Yeah, well, most nights there I do table magic. So we go up to each table during cocktail hour and do like 5 minutes of magic per table. So there I'm doing like a version of coins across, ambitious. I'm doing this trick that will be a penguin release soon. I do that all the time. And then we get the opportunity to do all the spots. So I've done the bar, this I do the stage, the 654 Club.
Well, that's
My
great.
favorite is definitely the 654 Club because it's a close up venue, but also it's like a 30-minute show. So you're not just doing 5 minutes, you get
Right.
to stay there.
Right.
So yeah, I do a lot of different things. I try to change it up all the time. I've been recently working on a coin through table routine that I learned from David Ben, and I'm doing this automatic drawing routine where I have apparently this spirit who's lives in my hand and guides me in drawing, and it ends up being like a portrait of Marilyn Monroe. So I try to like fuse a lot of like things I'm interested in, art
Mhm.
and psychology, and yeah, so a little bit of everything. I would say on the tables like more commercial stuff, and then I can be more theatrical, and more of my own work is in on stage and in the close-up gallery
Right.
there.
How
Yeah.
often, how much do you think about this is my little thing with magicians, but I don't get to ask this of people because it's kind of an embarrassing question, I think. How much do you think about changing material, or how often do you change material, or how much do you work on new material? I have a feeling that a lot of magicians really want to find the act and then stop. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah, like okay, we got that. Now for the next 40 years, here I go. You know.
Right.
And it's interesting. Do you get a read from audiences when I mean, do you think people understand new things? Meaning, they understand that it's new, or do they get a feeling for that? What's your experience with that?
That's a great question. I would also love to hear your take. I feel like you have way more experience than I do, obviously, but I would say like I try when I'm doing 654 and the stage, since I don't do that as often, I'll get the date, have time. So I'm like, okay, try to add one thing that's new and put it in the middle.
Right.
Just because, like, when you ask how much I'm creating like all day, every day, because I'm
Yeah.
so lucky. I work the lounge at night, so the day frees up time to just create.
Yeah.
So I'm always working on new things. And then the process of putting in new things is like, okay, there's the deadline. And then I try to feel the heat of that so I can actually put it in. And like I do put pressure on myself to get it. And it's like then the day of, it's like I'm just practicing that one thing that I want to do. So and last time I did 654, it was the coins through table. I had this whole scripting with it that I really wanted to showcase. So it was like it was sandwiched in between all the stuff I was really comfortable with. So I think it is like a slow, gradual process. But I find like when I do a run at 654 at the castle, like if I just add one new thing, that thing's gonna feel really not completely comfortable, but way more comfortable. And then I can do it the next time and just continue to see it kind of evolve. And then when that evolves, I can add the next new thing. But
Yeah.
I try to add new things, but I'm also like not going to do an entirely new show.
Right, right. It's funny because I was talking to one of the things we did a column, Blake Voigt was talking about, like protecting material in the finding the spot where those new pieces go where you're safe, where
Right.
you can't completely get off the road. That after this, I'll be going back to this and I'll be okay. So that you have some built-in protection and it lets you develop it as opposed to instantly throwing it out when you don't like it. And I think that that's what
Exactly.
people get frustrated with that because it's never as good as the material you're doing. And then you say, well, that's not any good. I can't do that. And you just look for the excuse
Right.
to throw it out. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Sometimes I do think like I'm like, oh, this clever thing I've come or this thing I've come up with is not as good as like it's not getting the reactions as ambitious. But then I take a second. It's like, well, it's not like it's only because I haven't been doing it as long
Right.
as I've been doing ambitious. Not necessarily because it's my own creation. It's because
Right.
I mean, to some degree, maybe it is, but it's also like, oh, I just haven't been doing it as long. So once I start doing it more, then it'll get more comfortable. And then once it gets more comfortable, it'll get more, I think, deceptive and more appreciative with the audience. So, yeah,
So that's interesting. So you really think you're kind of always working on new material in some form?
yeah,
I
always.
mean, I know not every one of those necessarily gets finished or put in front of an audience, but you really are always working on something new.
Yeah, I have a little studio in my apartment, which I'm lucky for. And yeah, I
Right.
just spend time in there.
No, I think it's really great. I think it's really important. Of course, I have a bias about that, but I really do think that it's something that magicians kind of neglect. And I always think I'll give you this one quote from Devant, who said, that he's found that the best audiences for magic are people that know something about it. And
Mm,
and of course, we always think, oh, that's like a magician's convention. Yeah, they're great audiences. But I think it's more sophisticated than that. And I think you guys are seeing it now in these magic theaters and clubs because you've got people that will go to those places. And what that means is they're kind of magic fans, you
yes.
know? And they might not know what a double lift is. They might not know, like what Kevin James's bowling ball trick is, but they are have an awareness if they've seen someone always have a card come to the top. Or if someone picks up a pad of paper and holds it and starts drawing on it, it's like it clicks in their head because they kind of go, oh, this reminds me of something. And I think I hope this is right. We're breeding a kind of audience that is a little more magic familiar than they used to be, and we have places for them to go. And that's kind of like what Devant had with his own theater in London. And so, what that means is, yeah, new material. You know, people
Yep.
get it. People understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people are more willing to like get on this magic train that you're putting them on, which means you can be quirkier if you're quirkier. You can be more philosophical and poetic, and like they're at the lounge. I see like they're there for it. It's not just like a gig that you're doing, like someone's
The
wedding,
four
and you're
standard tricks, yeah, just hitting them over the head and running. Yeah.
right. Like
Yeah.
you have actually time. The way it's set up, in particular at the lounge, it's like you're here. You feel the history of magic here. And because we're telling you this stuff, hopefully you will appreciate it more and appreciate what the magicians and everyone's doing here to create this experience for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's really great. I mean, that's kind of what it needs. What we need is those opportunities to do that. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, that's your home turf is the Chicago Magic Lounge. But where else do you like to perform? I mean, you've been kind of all over and done everything. You've been at the castle. But where else do you? What are your favorite? Some of your favorite spots for that?
Some of my favorite spots. I was in Finland a few months ago. My friend Marcus has a really small theater there.
Yeah,
So we kind of put together a show. It's called I'm not going to be able to say it. It's
right,
Tampa Maki. I'll have to ask him how to say
right.
it. I forget. But like small intimate theaters.
And what
I
was
just
that?
do a
That
lot
was a two-person show
of
that you guys put together?
What was that? Sorry.
What was that show? A two-person show, or what was that show?
It was actually really cool. It was my friend Marcus and my friend Johannes. They're both from Finland, and then Gaia Rossi from Italy.
Mhm.
And we all just did this whole. We each did like they did like 20. I think I did a 30-minute set, and so we took turns. But
Yeah,
it was really fun.
yeah,
Yeah, and it was just we did like 2 shows
right.
over over the course of a few days. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean those things are fantastic because they're just like open doors to be doing something different and working with a different sense of
exactly.
yeah. Very
Exactly.
neat.
But yeah, I would say mostly in Chicago, outside the lounge, I just do like weddings, corporate stuff, house parties. I'm trying
Right.
to do more house parties, but uh, yeah, just
What's
all
what's
anywhere people ask me.
translate house party to me? I mean, obviously, a party that someone invites you to, but is there something different about a house party specifically?
Maybe the sense that it's more intimate. Like the ones I've been doing here, it'll be like 10 people around a dining room table,
And,
like
and it's
really
not
intimate.
necessarily tied to an event. It's not like a birthday party or an anniversary party necessarily, right? Is what you're saying?
It can be. I
Yeah.
think most of them are like birthday party,
Okay.
like belated birthday party kind of thing. So yeah, I guess you could call them birthday parties.
But that's interesting. But it's about kind of like the table-based show, you think? I mean, that's what you're seeing people book based on it,
More, sorry.
based on working at a table. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like my favorite. Like everyone just around a dining room table,
yeah,
like super intimate. Yeah, I love that.
that's
Just
great.
pretty casual, but also, everyone's having a good time.
Yeah,
Like a nice party. Yeah.
and that
Like
would
a dinner party.
and that'll translate basically to a close-up show.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, just like sit at the head of the table and everyone's around, and yeah,
yeah.
that's like my favorite kind of thing to do.
And
Yeah.
you did, besides writing this up, you did these beautiful illustrations for it, which really are like, I mean, everyone's now if you see this video and you watch this first, of course you have to turn right to this now in the magazine, and you'll say, "Oh, there they are, right there," because they're not like anything else we ever do in Genii, but they're really fantastic. Are they watercolor? How are you doing that? How are you coloring that?
Yeah, for that case, I just did pen. I did everything in pencil first, and then I scanned it on my iPad, and I have like an iPad pen.
Oh,
So
okay,
for that, I used my iPad to do all the drawings for that one.
right, right.
But like, yeah, most times I do hand drawn stuff and scan them in. But yeah, for that one, I did it on my iPad after the drawings.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're really fantastic, and they do a great job also of kind of showing, the elements of it and kind of how they're put together and the emphasis of it, and it's just fun to read. It's fun to kind of fall into those pages in Genie unexpectedly and go all the way through that, and then you wind up at the end with this great routine and this kind of understanding of how that all got put together. So it doesn't happen
Thank
often
you.
enough. Doesn't happen often enough.
Uh, I appreciate being a part of it. Like, Genie really helped launch like my career at the lounge. I don't know if a lot of people knew about this, but Richard Kaufman had
Yeah,
posted this little article about me, and it really helped kind of pave my way introduction to magic. Because before that, I just had like 2 really close friends in magic, and it was like a isolated thing for me, and I didn't really interact with the magic community aside
right.
from the magic store I went to. So yeah, the pandemic and the Genie article and a few other things like really helped me start to come up in the magic community, I think, or
That's good.
just
No,
be
I mean
yeah.
it's really funny how what those. Yeah, it's really funny that what's happening with that magazine. And now, of course, we got an online presence, which is really interesting because, of course, people are using it, entering kind of through that, and it's a
Yeah.
slightly different audience, and it's really great. But it's really nice now that this community is getting bigger, like through these other theaters and all these other performers that are kind of being developing acts for this. I mean, really, like your situation, it's interesting now with us interacting with that and kind of developing that product for that. Because it used to be the same thing. You'd sit at home and the magazine would get delivered and you'd open it up and and we can see the difference of how that's all being used today. So it's exciting. It's a new adventure for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I love reading on my iPad too. Like when the earlier one comes in, it's nice to just like already be able to view it and also in like a comfortable way too.
Yeah,
Like don't have to sit on my computer. I just pull it up on my iPad, like
yeah,
with the app. So that's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good. All right. You heard it, an endorsement, but turn to the pages, take a look. And there's lots of great magic in this month's Genie. But you'll see Abby's piece and you'll have a great time with it. Whether you're interested in doing the trick or not, it is one of those tricks where you sit down and read it and okay, I've learned something. I've learned kind of how to get through how you put all these pieces together. And it's really a lot of fun. So appreciate it. And we'll
Thanks,
be
Jim.
attuned to what you're up to. We look forward to seeing you down the line.
Yeah, me too. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay. Thanks, Abby. Bye.
Fan. Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
Bye.
We're here in the Chamber of Secrets, and we're talking about our September issue. And what you'll find in the September issue is that John Gaughan has shown us another piece of German metal apparatus. But we had talked earlier about discussing wooden apparatus, and so John naturally brought us over to the corner in the Chamber of Secrets, which is the Thayer Shrine. And the Thayer Shrine is, I think, what American magicians think of as turned wooden apparatus. John, this is all from Thayer Magic?
Everything in this little box is Floyd's work. Probably made a couple of pieces of Carl Owen.
Well, that's really interesting because that's what I was going to ask you. So most of this you think was turned by Floyd Thayer?
Yes.
And the reason you're saying that is because he was the guy, right? He was the guy.
Well, he was the main man from the word go.
Right.
Yeah.
And did they have other turners there?
Probably, I think Emmett Carl's brother was a turner of respect.
Right. And Carl would have done it kind of later, you would think, in the history
I
of the
think
company?
he carried on the tradition of wood turning with Owen Magic.
Right. What's interesting is I remember you telling me that a lot of the Thayer material was actually versions of German props that had been made in metal.
Yes.
And because Thayer was such a good turner, he could just do it in wood.
Yes.
Which was its own art completely. But it was easy for him. It was cheap for him in California with all the wood around. So that's interesting that a lot of these were based on metal props, right?
Right. More the bigger pieces, because the turnwood things always felt better and made out of wood.
Right.
But the German brass pieces that were nickel plated, he copied exactly.
Really?
And they work out real well.
Yeah. So what are some of the unusual ones here? We're going to talk about a few of these specifically later. But these pieces that are indicative of Thayer pieces. It's surprising to me that a lot of them were painted. My impression when I see them, at magic conventions, when they see used props, a lot of the Thayer pieces were painted. But when I look at this display, a lot of these are still natural wood.
Well, I'm drawn more to the natural wood, and the early ones, of course, were just common maple was his favorite thing, and of course walnut.
And those are hardwoods, right? Maple and walnut?
Yes.
And so a turner would use those because you can get really nice results.
Yes.
Not because it's easy.
Well, it is easier.
Okay.
It's a much cleaner turn, less sandpapering
Yeah. And so what are those? I mean, what are their kind of trademark things? We've all seen the kind of black turn props and with a little bit of gold on them. But I see, they made cups and balls. They made wooden cups and balls.
Yeah, there's every conceivable type of a wood turning here. Probably the most outrageous thing is, of course, the expanding ball of 1936.
Right. And again, that's amazingly, it's got a metal mechanism in it, which is the tray.
Yes.
But everything around that is turned, right?
Yes. This is the classic Thayer approach. His perfect base and pedestal look that he gave everything, and he was able to proportion that, whether it's a table or all the way down to a small little pedestal.
Right. And we see, turned billiard balls, turned eggs, right?
Yes.
We see hollow eggs.
And golf balls, don't forget
And
golf balls.
And golf balls, which were balls that then he went back into and put
Yes,
grooves on.
And if you mention that, there's even orange that he put the dimples on the orange.
Right, right. Okay, we're going to look at a few of these pieces, but let's look at the French turning, which is different techniques, different woods, and a different area of this room, different collection. So this is a display of European turned wood. Have I got that right, John?
Yeah, it's mostly French boxwood,
Okay.
and probably from Thailand. That was the best source to get a good close grained boxwood that is just a beautiful patina on these things.
And how many dealers does this represent, do you think? Or what dealers does this represent?
It represents a lot of, Bland, of course, and a lot of the early American dealers in New York, and just about everyone from the late 19th century up until the 1930s.
And you said a lot of French, there was a lot of French pieces in this.
Yeah, these are mostly all made in France.
Oh, that's interesting. So they'd be made in France, but they'd be sold in England and
they're exported.
Right. And what is it about boxwood?
Well, the boxwood, of course, is a beautiful. Let me show you this.
Really gold color.
Yeah, it's so clean you don't even barely see any of the grain patterns inside here, and it's not a lot of warping over 100 years,
right.
And it just takes the shape fast. The man on the lathe can turn this thing probably in minutes rather than hours.
Really?
Which is hard to believe for me.
Well, how long do you think it would have taken? When you say that, I have to ask. I know it depends on the person, of course, and we don't know who turned that. But what is that a half a day job? Is that a
no,
1
I
hour
think
job?
I think the bulk of the time this can be built in less than an hour.
Really?
And of course the black, the paintings and all that are done later, but it at least the spinning's out, and of course the spring-loaded pieces inside there that
Right.
pop the shells out.
Those all have to be fit very
Yeah,
carefully. Right.
This is very, very expert wood turning to put that in there.
Yeah. The black is applied on the lathe, isn't it? The paint while it's still turning, or they put it back
the
on?
lines.
The lines,
yes.
And what is it? It's interesting now that I see a lot of this together. I realize that I've seen a lot of boxwood with black trim on it. Was that a common thing? Was that a design element?
Yeah, I think it was an element that was brought in just to punch it out, make it more three-dimensional off the shelf,
right,
so to speak, and a lot of this this shape versus this shape versus this shape is all goes back to the Greek columns and their interpretation of turnings.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. It's interesting. So boxwood comes from far away.
From Thailand mostly.
And even in the 1800s, they were importing it from Thailand. You think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. But these were not expensive, were they?
I mean, it's right. They're up in the front part of the catalog, because they would go from inexpensive up to the more important pieces. So the first pages are usually these types of tricks. And I can remember back when I was 8 years old getting the first marble vase.
Right.
And I think it was made out of plastic with a marble inside that you could shake and vanish and reappear.
Right.
And so it's all just kind of gone from there.
Yeah. These designs have been copied in, metal and plastic and, all sorts of things over the years, but the original use of these was all this beautiful boxwood. All right, we're gonna talk about a few of these and kind of how they're made and also how some of the turnings you've done and what you're in the process of doing right now. Thayer egg. Now, would this have been split open and put back together?
Yeah, yes, a lot of them were,
Okay,
especially the bigger ones.
Yeah.
But I don't think.
This is before plastic eggs, so this was a
Oh, yeah.
this was a turned wooden egg to vanish a handkerchief.
Yeah, these I think are all one piece.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So same thing. He's turning the inside first.
Yeah, I think it would be almost impossible to do that.
I guess because it's an oval.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you can't go in
You
here.
can't go
if you
in.
got it, so
Right.
you got to have
half of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's assembled.
Yeah.
So this is the Tarbell orange vase, which is a really legendary piece. I think it was sold in conjunction with the Tarbell course, and it was produced by Thayer. And it's mysterious. I don't know if it's a great trick. It's a mysterious piece of apparatus because
Right, and it's really kind of not a handsome piece.
Right.
It's kind of goofy looking, but it's very sought after and revered in the world of Thayer.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all sorts of things going on here.
right, like a ball vase.
Yeah,
parts.
like a ball vase, and so
you can see
there's-
through that. You can actually see through, show
Right,
them through
uh-huh.
that. Yeah. And then the orange. This orange has little
Yeah.
little marks on it,
Yes,
little divots,
uh-huh.
like a real orange.
And he made this with several different types of. They're like a piercing wheel that seamstress uses,
Oh, yeah.
or even in drafting, that would make these little orange spots on there. And you see some of the earlier Tarbell oranges using this type of piercing one. In the later ones, there was a softer end to it. So, but I don't know I don't think he made these for too many years.
Right, right. They were tied. It was in the original Tarbell course, which was the one that was sent to you in installments. And I think this was one of the
Yeah,
pieces
and
of
this
apparatus you could buy.
the ring even has to be pressure fitted in there in the routine. So there's.
Oh, wow.
I wish I could perform this.
Yeah, lots of parts and pieces. To
Yeah.
that. So these are, when we looked at the Thayer stuff, you talked about these as being examples of different styles of turning, different turners, probably.
I
Is that
think,
right, or-
this
yeah.
is into the Carl Owen era,
Okay.
and I remember John Daniel, when he and Carl were together,
Right.
mentioned that he would take the old black ones and try to spruce them up and make them modern for the 1950s, and brought in the blue and red colors, a little bit of gold on top.
So this would have probably been a Floyd Thayer ball vase.
Yes,
And then when John Daniel and Carl Owen
yeah, kept going with it.
kept going with it, then you can see the different style, a little finer turning, little decoration on it, so that it looks a little more modern.
Yeah, Carl's turning seems to be has a little more crispness to it and sharpness. Not that Floyd cut corners at all. It just had a different feel to it.
Right.
And also because of Carl's work is newer to us than some of the really early pieces there. It's hard to compare them as far as how they work, but Carl was right on the button.
Yeah. It's interesting. You talking about how you can see little distinctive touches in their turning. It's almost like a signature.
Yes.
Of
Uh-huh.
who did it.
But and even like I say, the sharpness, the edges of these things, Carl was able to turn it and leave it. and so it took less sanding to do this. And when Floyd would sand it, he would kind of touch that edge and
Soften
it'd
all
roll
those
it
edges.
over a
Yeah,
little bit.
Yeah, interesting.
And it's just a matter of preference.
Well,
Little
so
dusty.
that brings to mind how John knows all this, besides collecting it. But I'm going to show you how he knows all of this. This is the current project.
Oh, yeah.
That has come right off the lathe. And
Well, it's actually still on the lathe.
I was going to say
because-
it's going to go back on the lathe.
Yeah, these are pieces are just been.
So, but you know what? Let me start like this. This is the way to do it. This is what you're starting with, right?
There's the start. Yeah,
And what kind of wood is that?
that's a boxwood.
That's boxwood.
And I got this piece. It was about twice that length. I got it in a violin shop in Paris, and I love the handmade aspect of violins, and so I would always go into these places. And back over there were a lot of violin shops.
Yeah.
And the man that sold me this piece said that it had been in his shop over 100 years already, and he was naturally the son of the owner.
Right.
And so the son sold it to me, and I know his father would have been crying.
So what's a? I just have to ask. What on a violin is boxwood?
There's not, maybe the
Tiny little-
the pegs.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
this would have been all little pieces to use in a violin.
Well, not necessarily,
Okay.
because it's still,
Yeah.
they never cut into it.
Right.
So
And it's incredibly heavy.
yeah,
I mean, it might not be as heavy as some woods, but that's a really,
yeah, and it's solid, and you can see by the grain in here, it's
yeah.
very nice and even.
So this is that actually the piece that you cut this out of?
Yes.
So this is where it starts, and of course you know what that means. There was a circle cut out of this, and then
Yeah, on a bandsaw.
and he took it out,
Yeah.
and that circle goes onto the lathe sideways.
Yeah, that the first piece cut this, and then I cut this piece here because I had there's the first line in there, and then this is the second line, and then, so it
Right.
comes out an even thing there.
Right.
But you're only using two of them to pick up.
Right. So really, the first piece you cut is what everything starts getting fitted to.
Yes.
And is this done with calipers?
Well,
mean,
you're measuring, yeah.
How are you measuring this as it's spinning?
Oh,
You know,
you
well,
can. There's
I mean, I know
calipers
you turn it
can-
off to measure
yeah.
it, but still.
You can put in there while it's spinning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You don't want
Mess
to
it
use
up.
some things,
Yeah.
but you can. Yeah, or at least slow it down.
And when this is finished, what is this piece going to be?
This is. I hope this will be, because I've never made one of these, nor have I seen one, other than what I think I saw. But this is going to be a piece where the finial here it hasn't been made yet, but you take the finial off, the top of the finial, and inside there are seeds, little flower seeds, and you take the flower seeds out and you sprinkle it into dirt that is in there, and you put the top back on here, and oops,
Yep, pick it up.
oops, and then you cover this thing like this. Oh no, I left it out. It can't grow without water. You have a little miniature watering can, and you pretend to put water into it, and then you put that on there and say the incantations, and boom, there is a little tree, flower tree.
So where did
It's a miracle.
this come from? I mean, what was it? A catalog description? Was it a piece you saw?
I've never seen it in a catalog, but I haven't seen all the catalogs.
But you had some kind of description of this trick, right?
Well, yeah, I saw one in an auction.
Oh, okay.
The remnants of one,
Okay.
and but I think it's like the guy who made this thing was he's making ball bases all day long, and is trying to make something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah. And now,
a cute idea.
yeah, and now it's inspired a new one
Yeah.
that's getting turned as we speak. Hey, thanks very much. This is really amazing, and an amazing look at this equipment and this apparatus. And you'll see all these things coming through the pages of Chamber of Secrets and Genii every other month, and in rotation with our other historical articles. Thanks very much. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Jim.